Good morning, Floss Tube. It's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Sunday. It's the 14th of June, and this is Floss Tube video number 40. What did we say? 43. And it's the Dan and Julie show again. So, I'm Julie. He's Dan.
Yep. Still Dan.
Still Dan. Dan-O. Zap. His nickname is Zap. Would you like to know why his nickname is Zap? Do you want to tell him why your nickname is Zap?
No.
No? Why?
I'm not proud of it.
When exactly did that nickname happen? The first time? Was it when you had the accident? Or no, it was a lumberyard.
Mm-hmm.
That long ago? That before?
No, we were both working there during the summer.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't know that part of the story. I thought it was something that happened.
No.
No. Go ahead. Tell me how that happened originally.
Earl, who was my buddy in the fraternity, he was the president of the fraternity. I was what was I?
Were you anything, or were you just a?
I was a lower level
Secretary?
Well, I was in charge of the house, but I don't know if that was
You were in charge of that mess?
I was the house manager.
You sucked at that.
My biggest job was collecting rent from everybody.
Whoa. Okay.
So Earl and I were working at the lumberyard, which during high school I worked my way during the summers at the lumberyard doing miscellaneous, pretty much everything that you've ever done on a house, but we never did a complete house. But we fixed plumbing, we did a lot of roofs, we did a lot of foundations, we did some porch work, we did some block work, a little bit of everything. Me and one of my best men, or was Dallas my best man, or was Earl my best man?
I don't know.
I think he was in. He was in the wedding, but I think that Earl was my best man. But anyway, Dallas and Earl are my cohorts all the way through high school and into college and beyond. But Earl and I were down at the lumberyard working over the summer, and we usually work outside, but I think it was really, really hot or something, and they didn't want us going out, but they said it'd be a good idea to do some mowing around the lumberyard. So
I haven't heard this.
You haven't heard this one?
I haven't heard this story.
So we had two mowers, and Earl rolled his mower out and got it started, and I couldn't get mine started. I was pulling and pulling on it, and Earl said, well, move your foot over here, and I moved it over there to pull on it, and it was up against the spark plug. The spark plug wire was off. So he knew that if I put my foot over there, it would be next to the spark plug.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I got zapped pretty good, and it kind of sent me back away. So he, taking advantage of that situation, he came up with the nickname Zap.
Zap.
Yeah.
Okay. But you earned that nickname with several other incidents.
Well, the big one, yeah.
The big one. The big one was when you wrecked your car.
No, it wasn't my car.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't your car.
Mm-mm.
He hit a power pole. Go ahead. It's your story. You tell it.
Well, that one gets complicated. We were at the disco in Sioux City. One of my other college cohorts that also was from my hometown, Pat. We were at the disco, and I rode with him. He had a Pontiac Trans Am back at the time, and I was being Mr. Innocent, just dancing with
Mr. Innocent.
Mr. Innocent, just dancing and being friends with people, and it was pretty much into the evening, and we're getting ready to go, and Earl says, not Earl, but Pat says, you need to drive home, because I'm going home with this girl. And I said, Pat, I'm wasted pretty much. I don't think I should be driving. I thought you were going to drive. It was, Dan, look at that over there. So you're taking my car home. I said, okay, well, have a good time. So I'll see you tomorrow. So I made it.
We were whores.
we were,
He was a man whore.
yeah, I'm just Mr. Innocent.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So we lived, Sioux City is about, what, 15 miles from Kingsley or so,
20.
20 miles from Kingsley, my hometown. And I was driving back home, and I got to within about 2 miles of Kingsley, and nodded off on the road, going 55 mile an hour or so, and went off into the ditch, still not awake, hit a pathway going into one of the fields, a raised pathway, driveway into one of the fields. That's when I woke up because I was airborne at the time. Hit that slope entry and went airborne, and the back of the vehicle spun around and clipped off a power pole about halfway up, and fell down up on top of the car. And it had been raining, so it was wet too. I'm not going to blame the rain on the accident, but it was wet, and the sparks are going zzz across everything, and I just kind of panicked. And fortunately, when I stepped out, I either was grounded still to the car, or I jumped out. I don't remember. I wasn't even thinking about it. But anyway, I did get a pretty good little jolt through my heels coming up, and it kind of sent me into a barbed wire fence. And that's where I was when the policeman showed up. But
And how many towns did you knock out?
just two areas,
Just
two
two areas,
towns,
two towns. knocked
my
the power
hometown
out.
and the next town. That was the headlines the next day. Area residences delighted, which my mom cut out and still has to this day.
Not sure I would have saved that.
Yeah, wasn't a pretty day, but hey, I passed the sobriety test because I think it kind of woke me up a little bit. I walked that line right down the line and put my finger right on my nose.
You're so damn lucky.
Yeah, I know.
So damn lucky. So yeah, he earned the name Zap. He still gets called that on occasion, amongst other.
Your brother does.
Yeah, Jeff calls him Zap.
You call
They
him
had
Zap.
some interesting nicknames in the house. Earl's
Mhm.
was Johnny Cakes.
Yeah.
What were some of the other ones?
Some of them are probably not prime time names that you want to come up with.
Probably not.
The
Frosty.
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 The one guy that dated way too much and dropped his girlfriends was called Shaft.
Yeah.
What would Roger's name was?
I was so glad Adam didn't join a fraternity when he was in college.
Hey, it was good for me.
I
with
just
the
had
exception-
too much. I knew too much shit that went down in that place. So.
We learned a lot. We studied together.
Oh yeah, they studied the female anatomy probably.
We did a lot of community service. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Brought me out of my shell.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Pretty introverted before that.
All right. Well, so now you know how he got the nickname Zap.
Yeah. Well, do we want to discuss Julie Swade tonight?
That's an easy one. I put suede on everything I frame.
Julie Swade. That's what she says. I think she had a different profession before she got into stitching that she hadn't told us about.
You bet. So, Dan,
Yes.
would you like to share a finish?
I happen to have one here, but before I do that,
There's always a but before I do
But.
that. But.
I have a before and after. This is the before.
This is gross to touch.
It has wax.
It has wax on it, and it just
It's solid.
feels slimy, greasy.
No, it's okay. It just protects it from warping until you work with it. But this is a piece of rosewood that's
It's pretty.
ready to go. And of course, you guys have seen the rosewood bowl after it's done.
This is the little teeny tiny one that goes with those pocket rounds from Heart and Hand. And he got his B finished. I have to get trim, some sort of trim around the edge of it yet. I can't decide. I've got like a pink, see the pink. I've got a piece of chenille that color. I've got some gold. I just can't decide what I want to do. So I haven't finished that part of it. It's very cute.
It is. 2 days.
2 days?
Mm-hmm.
For the stitching?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mary got it done in one.
I know.
Just saying.
I'm proud of my 2 days.
So he did finish he was working, I don't know if we showed that.
Mm-hmm. I think we did.
The Harry Potter quote that he was working on, he did get that done. I got it framed up and it's over at Melanie's. I should have brought it back with us yesterday, but I didn't. I left it there.
It fit in a standard size frame, so
barely.
Yeah, that's close.
It was framed up close, which I don't normally like to do, but she wanted it small, so small it was. But he did get that one finished. I didn't finish the stitching on anything this week, but I did finish. I did a finish of a finish. So the salt box, Baltimore salt box. I think that's what it was called. From With Thy Needle on one of Dan's paddle boards. I got that all finished up.
It's the first one.
Yep, very first one. I forgot the stack of them. They're gonna be in the shop probably this week.
I think we showed them last week.
All the different colors. You've got black now, red, blue, the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of want a green.
Yeah, there's 5 more I gotta do.
But anyway, I think it turned out really cute. The size on this is what? About a 4x6 area? You think?
Probably in there.
Probably close to about a 4x6. So if you're thinking about something that would fit on there, it would have to be finished to about a 4x6.
Most of the new paddle boards have just a hole up there.
Just a round hole.
It's a little more work to get those stars in there.
So anyway, there's that. So after Dan finished his little honeybee, I asked him what he wanted to work on next, and because he's got a couple things, he could go back to the farm we showed a couple videos ago, or he's got that other kit that I got him, or there's that deer from Primitive Hair that you kind of want to do, and when I asked him, he said, "Present me with something." So I have this display idea in my head that I want to do, and I needed a design with sunflowers and chickens. And so I did. I presented him with something. Not sure how happy he was about it, but would you like to share? The heck was that? I think your dog wants out. No, I think she wants out. Oh, please. Oh, no, that wasn't her. Rags is under the thing. I don't know.
Bird flew into the window. It's on the deck.
Oh. Did you hear that? A bird flew into the window.
It's not dead.
And is lying on the deck.
No.
But he says it's not dead,
It's
just stunned. Okay, so I presented him with something to stitch that had sunflowers and chickens in it, and that was the Trekking Along August from Stitching with the Housewives. I just started carrying those designs in the shop. Had a few requests for him. And he started it, not last night, but the night before?
The night before stitching night, because I had the truck.
Last night was stitching night.
Okay.
So, you can show them this is how far he's gotten. It's looking good.
Another black fabric.
He kind of likes it though.
This one's tougher for some reason. I wasn't using the white background on the other one because it was just naturally going, but this one's a little tougher. You have to have the white background so you can see the holes. Different fabric.
It's entirely possible that this is 28 count and the other was 25. That could be it.
Okay.
But
I
I needed them smaller.
I'm used to the 32 count, and I don't like the way that covers on even that 28. It doesn't cover enough. There's too much.
You're using 2 threads, right?
Right.
And you don't like it?
No, it looks better on 32. It covers more completely.
Well, then I would have had to give you linen instead of even weaving. You probably wouldn't have liked the black linen because I think that's even harder to see.
Yeah. So I'm an official housewife, a real housewife now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I climbed on board the Mothership.
I'm not sure they know who the Mothership is. You might want to explain that.
Well, I've noticed that Priscilla and Presley are
Priscilla and Presley?
Priscilla and
Chelsea,
wherever that come from. I know that they're pretty popular out there, and I enjoy watching them too. And but it just seems that a lot of things that they do, everybody does take to heart. So I've just given them the name the Mothership because they seem to have quite a community out that, and just how I reference them. So I think Julie refers to them that way too.
Pretty much all the Stitchers, if he says the Mothership, they know who he's talking about. So, and it's true. They have a very large following, and I can guarantee if they're going to do a stitch along, I better get that chart in the shop because I'm going to get calls for it. So, yeah.
They just have to have a spaceship hovering in the background while they're doing their videos.
Do they?
Yeah,
I'm sure Priscilla will take note of that and make it so, Captain.
Okay.
Okay.
Or at least Devil's Tower picture. They should stitch up a Devil's Tower picture. Close Encounters.
Uh-huh.
The third kind.
Uh-huh.
Richard Dreyfuss.
I got it. I think I think I watched part of that at one point. I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I think I watched part of it. Drew Barrymore, right?
I think she's in there.
I think that's who that was. Or maybe
Is
I'm
it?
thinking E.T.
No, that's E.T. They're back.
Okay.
Is it?
I don't know.
We might have to rewatch that.
That's-
Date night.
That was... no. Pass. Hard pass. I think I'll pass. So, okay. Do you have something else you brought that
Oh yeah.
nasty?
Yeah,
pointer tool?
I've been indulging myself in a few things at the woodworking store. They were closed, for 2 months. So, but I was noticing that they had this tool, a series of these tools.
What is that tool, Dan?
I don't know. It just looks cool. That's why I bought it. No. This is a carbide tipped lathe tool. Okay, this carbide cylinder right here is very, very sharp.
Looks kind of like a rotary cutter.
Yeah, but it
Blade.
doesn't. It doesn't spin. It's fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just what you use to try to give them a visual here. This is what you would use to do your carving. Instead of just a straight regular blade, it has this insert. And if it does get dull, you can loosen it and turn it so you've got this whole surface for doing your cutting on. And it shaves it off just like an orange peel paper or apple peel.
So are you saying like if this was a square block,
Mm-hmm.
you use this to shave it down and give it that roundness?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And once you get it round and you've got it on there, it'll just shave off like apple peel shavings.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of them out in the garage.
Yeah. If anybody needs any good sawdust,
He does not clean it up. He just lets it pile up.
it's kind of fun to be covered like a Sasquatch when you come in.
And he is. That's it for new stuff. I have some whips. You already showed your whip.
Well, I
so-
do have a new stuff in the works. What do we call it? A whip? A work in process, or a tip? A tool in process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For Father's Day, I'm going to go ahead and request a tool from the woodworker store that opens in 10 minutes.
Well, we'll get this done, and you can head
When,
out.
when we go to cut the, actually it's in here like this usually. When I go to cut it off with the tool, different tool, that's a little bit hard to do because it's hard to keep it perpendicular. And when it gets so small in there, sometimes boop, it will pop off the lathe, which is not good. So you're always kind of going, how far do I go before I stop and then just saw it off. But what I'm going to pick up is a new chuck. It's a big old chunking piece of metal, and that will allow me to turn the bowl around and mount it into the chuck this way, and then I can just shave it off this way. So the bowls in the future will have a lot nicer finish on the bottom than what you're seeing here. And it'll be perfectly flat too.
Instead of a little warbled.
Yep. So
Awesome.
all for the price of $135.
The tool.
The tool.
Not the bowl.
The tool, yeah.
Yeah, the tool. Happy Father's Day, dear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see. What have I done? Well, this is my Sunday project. I think I've mentioned I'm doing a stitch along with Donna and Mary from Georgia.
Just one?
Well, we haven't started the other one. They did suck me into another one.
F-Sol?
Mary's
Future
bad.
syphilis.
Mary is bad influence. You probably should put a kibosh on our friendship because she's terrible influence on me. Quaker Welcome from Lila's Studio came out at Market. The girls and I were talking last night in our Zoom meeting that they haven't seen too many people working on this one. So, but it was one of my favorites from Market. Mary is the furthest along. I think Donna is a little bit ahead of me.
Oh, so she's a show-off, too.
And then, yes.
Nice.
And then there's me. I only work on it on Sundays, so, and it's usually just a couple hours. So I actually think I'm doing pretty good.
You are.
But Mary needs to slow down just a little bit and give a slowpoke's chance to get caught up.
Yeah, but you get to the text, you'll be able to fly.
Well, yeah. But isn't that really pretty? It's just gorgeous. And it's fun to stitch. This pineapple did take a little while, but it was fun to stitch it. Can you see that? So I'm enjoying this one, even though I am behind everybody else.
Yeah,
This
any
is
color changes to it at all?
I did not make any changes to
Whoa,
this.
that's-
I am actually even using the called for fabric, which was primitive hair. I'm using 40 count, so it's Old Massachusetts, I think is her 40 count on this. But no changes. Haven't made any.
Wow.
I know that's a rare occurrence, but
You'll have to
can
get a
improve
frame.
on perfection, can
You
you?
have to get a frame just like that one, too.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
I
it
knew there
needs-
had to be a change somewhere.
I think it needs a prettier frame. I think I do have that frame. But I think I would like a prettier frame.
It's just a pine frame.
Yeah. So that is whip 1. Whip 2. Oops.
I just had
Didn't wanna
an
flash
epiphany.
you.
I just had an epiphany.
You have an epiphany
Yeah,
on
this
what?
is a live epiphany right here. What if
Tiffany.
I were to take on my lathe, okay?
Okay.
What if I were to take on the lathe and, turn not like this, but turn a fancy design, cut it down the middle and put that together as a frame.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about that?
Or I can just order one.
Well, I'm talking just in the future design here.
I'm just thinking your talents would be better used making other things.
Shot down again.
Yep.
So much for my Lively Tiffany's. Thought it was a good idea.
Yeah. So, henpeck from Plum Street Samplers. You're going to have to work really hard to see my white hen on this fabric. She needs to be back stitched in order for her to show up.
It's called hen stitched.
That's called back stitched. But that's as far as I've gotten. She shows up better on screen than she does in person. But I will have to back stitch her.
Isn't that a he?
Oh.
Do hens have
I don't know.
things
Maybe.
on the top of their head?
I'm not a chicken expert. I would like to have
You
some
might be right.
chickens.
I don't know. They might have.
I want chickens that lay lavender colored eggs and green eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I want some green eggs and ham.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, that's as far as...
Do we need to raise pigs for the ham too?
No, I don't want to raise pigs, but I wouldn't mind having a pig. A little pet pig. Running around.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think? Whoops. I'm just going to ignore her. She'll probably next call your phone, and then she'll call the house phone. And it'll be, yep. And it'll be some sort of, don't. It'll be some sort of dire emergency, like, can you go pick up my porch furniture that I bought. Anyway, this is as far as I've gotten on henpeck. So, working on that black chicken.
Has anybody else stitched on that
Oh.
chicken wire fabric?
Oh, on the chicken wire fabric? Well, I've sold some, but most people are doing, this is actually not chicken wire. This is bee fabric, like beehive fabric. They do have the chicken wire, but it's much bigger holes and it wouldn't work on this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I use the beehive, because it still looks like chicken wire, in my opinion. Okay, that was whip number 2. Whip number 3, I pulled out Golden Ice from Custom Crafts. It's a very long-standing whip. Normally it is worked on at retreat, but we didn't have retreat, so I decided to pull it out and put a little love into it. I should have taken it off the Q-snap so you could see the whole thing, and I didn't, so hang on just a minute and I'll get it pulled off. You want to see how I take my... People always ask me, how do you get the clamps off? And I don't slide mine, because sometimes it can hang up in the corners and you can get a little hole in your fabric. So I just kind of pry it. I put my thumb on this side, and then I just kind of push with my thumb and pull with my other hand, and it comes right off. So I never have a problem getting them off. But that's what I do. Just push with the thumb on this side and pull up, just in case you needed a tip. Okay, so gonna end up flashing you yet, dear. I don't know how long I've been working on this one. A number of years anyway. So this is what I've got done. I've been working on this, all of this I put in. Did some fill on here and some fill on here. A little bit of work down in this area, and finished up this stitching in here. So I'm getting up to the cool part of the head. There are bazillion color changes in this area, so it was kind of slow going. So I'm kind of glad I'm almost done with that area. So that's Golden Ice. This is it according to the front of this chart, it was a special edition. I don't know that it's still available.
When did it come out? Do you know?
I don't know. 2005. So it's 15 years old. I don't carry custom crafts in the shop. Hoffman used to carry, which is where I got this from. Custom Crafts has their minimum order is a lot. Well, it's a lot for my shop. Maybe not for other shops, but it's a lot for my shop, so I don't carry them in the shop anymore. I am not a fan of minimums. Sorry. I understand like a $5 minimum if you're going to use a credit card just because the fees are so high. But I don't get a minimum order thing. Smaller shops like mine can't afford to buy a ton of things, so it irritates me greatly. Next whip that I've worked on. Again, I don't have the picture. It's lost somewhere. But it's samplers from Scarlett House. Yeah. And pull this up behind it. So I got some more letters of the alphabet up there, and I carried the border across. This may be new here too. And one of the rabbits is new. This one. So this is a 25 count Lugana that I used walnut crystals on and dyed. So I have misplaced my walnut crystals. So I'm either going to have to buy some new ones or really put some time into looking for them. I don't know where they went. They were supposed to be in a drawer in the kitchen, and they're not.
Well,
They might have gotten thrown away because they were just in a little brown envelope.
Mm-hmm.
Again, missing my picture on this one, but this is the Be Merry pin pillow from Chessie and Me. It came out a year or two ago. And I finished building my house. I don't know that I've shown this one before.
I don't think so.
But I had part of the house done, but I finished building the outside of the house. I'm working on the doors and windows now. So it's Be Merry pin pillow, Chessie and Me. Colors are really pretty. Check it out. That was the last whip I had. However, I have kitted up a couple of things, semi-kitted up a couple of things. Well, one thing is fully kitted. This one is just partially kitted because it calls for, even on 40 count, it calls for a fat. Would you stop it? Shh, brat.
Pork pig.
I'm gonna.
Ow! That's gonna leave a mark.
You started it. So where was I?
Concentrate.
Concentrate. Yes.
You were done with whips, but
This goes back to my friend Mary again,
Oh,
who
God.
the horrible, terrible influence. Dan says I can't be her friend anymore. We both like the charts from Heartsease Exemplar Works. Teresa Baird. This was supposed to be I believe, a class piece, but she decided that she would go ahead and release it. And of course, Mary and I both jumped on it right away. It's a small book. I mean, it's huge. It weighs a ton. It's an expensive piece. This is a $70 chart, but it is amazing. You see that? Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous.
It has to have a whole story in it.
Hmm?
Almost like it has to have a whole story in it.
Oh, there it is a whole story. But there's the floss list, and it calls for Belle Soie, which I think
Brace
the
yourself.
last time I checked, Belle Soie was like $8.50 a skein. So needless to say, I am doing DMC. But it calls for it on 40 count. You need a full fat half of linen, and we all know I do not have a full fat half of anything in a 40 count. Well, maybe in a color, but not in a neutral.
Was Mary considering the Belle Soie?
Until she figured out that you'd need like 63 skeins at $8. She's doing the DMC too. And the colors are beautiful. I happen to have them. I pulled them, had them all in my stash. But it takes 2 hands to hold them because there's so many of them. But look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Why do you have to show the top and the bottom? Aren't they the same color?
Because there might be some colors that are stuck that are not showing on the top,
Okay.
but showing on the bottom. Because I haven't got them into floss away bags yet. So, but anyway, when I get some fabric, I have to cut Mary a piece, and I have to cut myself a piece, and then we have to. She wants to do. She wants to do a stitch along. I'm not sure I'm going to do a stitch along on this one. I'm running out of days of the week because, as I've said before,
She ain't gonna stop either.
oh no, she'll finish it years before I would. I do okay on a stitch along as long as there's a dedicated night or time to stitch on it. Like the Quaker Welcome, I know Sunday night after supper, that's what I'm working on. And I know that Mary's going to hold me accountable because she always sends me a text and says, "Are we stitching tonight?" And so I would need another night to dedicate to this. And I think until I get maybe 1 or 2 others done, it's not going to happen. She's already sucked me into doing Land That I Love from Teresa Kogut, the new sampler. She's got me doing a stitch along on that. That will be our Saturday night project. So as soon as it arrives, which should be this week sometime.
Preview for next video.
She has her fabric. Well, she doesn't have it in her hot little hand. I've got a box ready to go to her with the floss and the fabric. We're just waiting for the chart. And then I don't have my fabric chosen yet. So I have to choose my fabric. And I got to cut fabric yet for Donna. But she's waiting for her chart too. So as soon as the charts come, then we'll get that taken care of and we'll start that stitch along. Do you want to join us?
Stitching along with that?
Well, maybe you would stitch along something else.
Yeah.
No, I figured not. He kind of sticks to one thing at a time. And then yesterday, so a year ago in January, I sent a package to Mary, priority mail, that never ever arrived. And that is the one and only time I've ever had a priority package disappear. Didn't arrive. I replaced her product for her. I, filled out all the paperwork because, of course, it had insurance on it. And last week, she sends me a text and she says, "Julie, I got a package from you today." And I stopped and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't get a package. And she says, "Julie, I got a package from you today." And I stopped and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't get a package. And she says, "Julie, I got a package from you today." And I stopped and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't get a package. didn't send you a package. But I did send Donna a package, and I'm like, did I somehow screw up and send Donna's package to Mary? Because I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's what had happened. So I'm like, well, what was in that package, Mary? And she says, well, let me tell you when it was dated. And it was dated like January 18, 2019. And I knew right away it was that missing package. That in the paperwork that I had to fill out, it was supposed to, if they ever found it, was supposed to be sent to me. But they delivered it to her.
It was probably underneath her coffee table all this time.
No, I don't think it was under Mary's coffee table. I don't think Mary's house looks like ours, with stuff just piled everywhere. I think she's got, and she just finished organizing all of her stuff for the third or fourth time. So I don't think that was the issue. I think it was lost, and I think because they're having to do more cleaning in the post office, because of COVID, I think they're finding things that have been misplaced, maybe on trucks or in a warehouse. I don't know. But that's really, the package was in good shape. It was a little battered, but it was in good shape. It wasn't ripped open. The contents were all there. She sent it back to me this week. And in that package was the chart descending order from Long Dog. So as I was chatting with them yesterday, her and Donna, I was staring at descending order and thinking, gosh, that's so pretty. and Donna looked it up and she said, oh, that's pretty. How did I miss that one? And so she doesn't have it. Mary has the replacement one. I was staring at the one that had been missing but was no longer missing. And Donna, who said last week she'd blown all of her money on a new pair of scissors, which are gorgeous, by the way, she says she wasn't buying anything. But before this discussion ended, Donna's like, do you have that chart? And I'm like, well, I have the one Mary just sent back to me. And
it's all kitted up and ready
it's all kitted up and ready to go. So I'm supposed to send her just the chart. She's only caved enough to just get the chart. But I'm going to guess by Monday Mary will have worked on her and she'll be wanting the floss.
Don't unpack it.
Yeah, I'm not going to put it away. But anyway, descending order, in case you're unaware, looks like this. And it was kind of slow yesterday at the shops. So since we were discussing this chart and I kitted it up for myself. So I chose 46 count flax. I had a green fabric chosen, but Dan liked this better. And then I did a conversion from the overdyed cottons to, I have some Carrie's floss left, so I am converting to mostly Carrie's with a couple MPI and one overdyed, Threadworks overdyed Avera Soie, which is this one. I have every color of this overdyed Avera Soie, but I only have like one skein of each. Oh, and this is also overdyed Avera Soie from Threadworks Primitives. Anyway, so those are all the pretty colors. So I'm going to do mine. Mary's parting words yesterday were, let me know when you want to start that, Julie. So, I don't know. I almost started it last night. I was staring at it really hard. And I decided no, I wasn't going to start it yet. So, and I can't start it tonight because we all know tonight is for Quaker Welcome. So, but tomorrow night, all bets are off. Anyway, that is Unless you have something else, my dear. That is all I have. Life updates on the kids. Everyone's doing fine. Ben and Kate found out that we are going to go up to Stewart for the 4th of July. Melanie outed herself. She swears me to secrecy. I swear him to secrecy. And then she's on her way to the grocery store to pick up her order at the grocery store and is talking out loud to herself, which is something that we do, and said something about planning meals for Stuart, and Ben's little ears go up, and he's like, what? So
She let it out of the bag over there within 10 minutes and I was over there.
in front of the kids?
Yeah, she said something about something, and those ears popped up again on Ben and Kate both. What?
So they're pretty happy about it. I did hear back from the lodge, and we're a go. So just putting it out there, I will be closed. I will be closed over the 4th. I haven't decided what day I'm going up yet. It's potentially I could be gone the 1st through the 6th, or I could hang around until that Friday, which would be the 3rd. I just don't know yet. So just in case there's a delay in shipping, it'll be because I'm going to take a vacation and spend time with the family. Remy got a haircut.
Yeah, this is our family update. We got a haircut.
Remy got a haircut. Dan had let her go, and she was a knotted up mess, so
14 pounds of hair.
Melanie had to shave her down. And she's a tiny little puppy now, aren't you? Is you a tiny little baby dog? Yeah. That's a tiny baby. Look at that face. So she probably feels way better. Anyway, so I don't know when I'm going. I think Connie's going to come and stay at the house, so because this is a puker in the car, and I don't think it's fair to put her in a car for 4 hours. So hopefully Connie will do that for me. And what?
So after her haircut, Melanie gave me a COVID cut too. Just right from her to the hair. So
It looks much better though. He had this big bulge on the back of the hair that he has left is very thick, and it was way past time to be cut. So Melanie did that for him. She's not an expert by any means, so it's not the best of cuts, but it's better than it was. Abby and Reese are fine. Reese has had her first cold. Abby has caught the cold, but otherwise they're fine. Abby was exposed to COVID again, but she's okay. Reese's baptism was last Sunday. And
virtual baptism.
yeah, we attended virtually. Abby had been exposed. We didn't want to go out. There were going to be more people there than we were comfortable with. So I don't think Abby was happy with us, but that's too bad. Anything else we know?
No, I don't think so.
No, me either. So anyway,
Off to the woodworking store.
he's heading off to the woodworking store. I'm going to do something. I don't know what, but I'm going to do something around here. And
I hope they're not as bored as Remy is.
they probably are. They probably aren't you. Are they as bored as you are? Yeah. Silly puppy. So have a great week. We'll see you probably in a couple of weeks, probably after the 4th sometime. Should have lots of good stories to tell you when Dan gets with the kids. He jumped in the kids' pool yesterday fully clothed.
It's a big pool.
Shoes and everything.
Yeah, they were taunting me.
What were they saying?
Oh, I was throwing the ball at them and hitting them with some blow-up hammer thing. And
Yeah.
they thought they could get away because I couldn't reach them. So I just went over the top.
It's just like having another 2-year-old in the family. So
At least I remember to take my billfold and phone out of my pocket.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Get some stitching done. I will see you Tuesday for the chart of the day video, and we'll be back probably after the 4th.
Yeah. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.